Welcome back to our channel where literature comes alive. In our previous episodes, we explored the world of Geoffrey Chaucer, the father of English literature, and his immortal Canterbury tales. But Chaucer was not alone. The 14th century in England was a golden age of Middle English poetry, rich with voices that sang of faith, love, morality, and nationhood. Today, let's meet the other poets of Chaucer's age, the writers who shaped the literary spirit of medieval England. The 14th century was a time of profound change. England witnessed the Hundred Years' War, the Black Death, and the rise of English as a literary language after centuries of Latin and French dominance. While Chaucer wrote for the royal court, other poets spoke to the soul of the nation, to its faith, its conscience, and its people. Among these, four names stand out: William Langland, John Gower, the Pearl Poet, and John Barbour. Together, they form the foundation stones of early English literature. Our first poet, William Langland, was a visionary. His great allegorical poem, Piers Plowman, is one of the most powerful works of Middle English literature. It tells the story of a man's search for truth and spiritual salvation, guided by the humble plowman Piers, who represents Christ-like honesty and hard work. Langland used poetry not for courtly entertainment, but as a moral and social critique attacking corruption in the church and society. His voice was that of the common man, yearning for justice and divine truth. In Piers Plowman, we see the rise of English as a language of moral vision and reform. Next comes John Gower, Chaucer's friend and contemporary. Gower was a trilingual poet. He wrote in French, Latin, and English. His major works include Speculum Meditantis, Vox Clamantis, and his English masterpiece is Confessio Amantis, or The Lover's Confession. In Confessio Amantis, Gower blends moral teaching with romantic storytelling. It's a dialogue between a lover and his confessor, where tales from classical mythology are used to explore human virtue and vice. Unlike Langland's realism, Gower's poetry is moral, polished, and philosophical, the voice of a thoughtful moralist in a turbulent age. One of the most mysterious figures of the 14th century is the Pearl Poet, an anonymous writer from the north of England. He is credited with four extraordinary poems: Pearl, Patience, Cleanness, and Sir Gawain and the Green Knight. The Pearl is a beautiful allegory of laws and heavenly comfort, where a father dreams of his lost child as a radiant pearl in paradise. Sir Gawain and the Green Knight, perhaps his most famous work, combines Arthurian legend with Christian morality, exploring themes of honor, temptation, and redemption. The Pearl Poet's verse is musical, symbolic, and deeply spiritual, uniting chivalric adventure with mystical vision. While England found its voice in Chaucer and Langland, Scotland found hers in John Barbour, the earliest great Scottish poet. His epic, the Brus, celebrates the heroism of Robert the Bruce and the struggle for Scottish independence. Barbour's poetry is patriotic, plain, and stirring. He writes of courage, loyalty, and freedom, values that define the spirit of the Scottish people. In his verse, we see the dawn of national identity in literature, a theme that would grow throughout the centuries. Each gave English literature something unique: Langland's conscience, Gower's wisdom, the Pearl Poet's imagination, and Barbour's patriotism. Together they formed the chorus of the Middle Ages, preparing the way for the flowering of English poetry in the Renaissance. They remind us that great literature is never the work of one voice alone, but a harmony of many singing the story of a nation. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this journey through Chaucer's contemporaries, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. For more episodes on the evolution of English poetry from the Middle Ages to the modern world. Thank you.